forward to Commendations Education Spotlight. Okay, I'd like to call to the podium our representative from the Nassau County Police Department to honor our student with the Joseph Oliveri Memorial Scholarship.
Can we call up the recipient?
Yes, sure.
Would it be great if I wore my glasses? Alexandra Vasquez. And if I could, along with the presentation, the Oliveri family, Joe's dad, children, you guys can come up. Hey, congratulations. If I could take 2 seconds.
No, you take 3 seconds.
3 seconds, yeah. I'm the only one in uniform. The Nassau Police Running Club started a memorial run 25 years ago when we lost the first officer in a long time. And the whole idea of this scholarship fund is to present it to a student, a worthy student, at the high school where the police officer that was killed attended. So it's my honor tonight on behalf of the police, Nassau Police Running Club, to present this scholarship check and award in the name of Officer Joseph Oliveri, who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And I'm so happy that his family came here tonight. Thank you.
There we go. Just get around. Congratulations. Cool. I'm going to have it coming. Very nice. Yeah. It's cool. There you go. There we go. Ready? 1, 2. Again. Looks good. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
You got a call? This is, there it is, right? Okay, thank you.
We usually don't have such a big stage for our presentation, so I'm going to come down to that. Our honorees do not have to come all the way up to me. So I'm going to ask Mrs. Manzo and Mr. Keene to come on down because we had some poetry contest winners. So I'm going to ask them to explain that to you and talk about their students a little bit.
Good evening. Mr. Keene and I are proud. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Mr. Keene and I are very proud to announce this year's Walt Whitman Poetry Contest winners. Every year we participate. We've been lucky enough to place every year. And this year we had 4 individual winners, and both of our class anthologies won for the third and fourth grade categories as well. And we do have some anthologies for you to keep and look at so you can see some of the student work. So if all of our Sequest winners who are here tonight, whether it's for the anthology or the individual, if you could please come up. However, our individual winners are Ava Catania, Kieran Honus, he's not here, so Alex Lilly, and Cadence Brown. And 3 of our 4 winners are prepared to read their poetry.
A child went forth, the young stressed girl who felt invisible, trapped. At the age of not even 2, she saw a long wooden object that made marks on paper. As she grew, the marks became real art. Before she could realize who she really was, she was stuck doing flips and splits and launched in the air. But when the moonlight came out, the wooden object came out. When the moonlight came in, the long wooden object came out. The art started again. The next day, when she played, a jump made the fun run into the hospital. The big trip was planned, but no fun was lost for her. She took the long wooden object and drew her dream. The drawing on the paper went everywhere with her. Many years passed until she took a step in the path of life. She took a needle and some thread and sewed a hole in her clothes. Later, the hole was gone. She felt like a crack, and she felt like she cracked out of a shell. The drawing of her dream still hung on the wall. Then finally her dream was coming to life. She finally broke out of her shell. No more feeling scared, stressed, or invisible.
Life. There once was a child, and everything he saw he absorbed. He loved to play outside, and one day he saw a squirrel and became the squirrel. He climbed a tree, and later he saw a deer run and then ran as fast as a deer. All of that became a part of him. The young blue jays chirped like a bell. The boy rang a bell to respond, and when he saw the frogs jump, he jumped up and down. And all of that became a part of him. The big berry bushes sprouting with vibrant berries, and the boy picking one of every single vibrant berry there, and the apples fresh blooming on a tree, and all that became part of him.
The forest awaits her. The beautiful child wakes up. She puts on her most favorite outfit. She stops and smells her mother's cooking. The hissing of the bacon was music to her ear. She gobbles down her pancake. She chugs her freshly squeezed orange juice and ran outside. The forest awaits her. The birds wait to sing with her. The animals await her to tell them stories. This will forever and always be a part of her. She dances and twirls around the green trees. She skips around the delightful blue waters of the river. The blossoms felt soft and gentle. They gave off a relaxing smell. She sat with the animals. She told them stories. She sang with the brightly colored birds. She helped the beautiful deer give birth to her fawns. The sun set off in the distance. As she watched, she fed the newborn fawn, and the sun had suddenly disappeared. She heard the calling of her mother's voice. She quickly kissed the animals goodbye and said, "I will be back tomorrow." And she ran back to her house. She felt the warm fire before she walked into the house. Her bed seemed more comfortable than ever. She knew she had a great day, knowing that tomorrow will be even better. and these animals will forever be a part of her.
Could I just have all Sequest students up for a picture? Olivia, Julia, come on up. You were part of the anthology. You belong to be here. Is there anyone else? Thank you.
There you go. She was born here. I graduated from high school. She said it straight face. Again? Beautiful. Congratulations.
Mrs. Rubin?
Good evening, everyone. Charlotte DeSabone is a fifth grade student at the Idlehour Elementary School, and she's really a special student at Idlehour. She's a model citizen. She was presented with the Suffolk County Interfaith Anti-Bias Task Force Award for exemplifying dignity for all students at the Suffolk County Interfaith Anti-Bias Task Force at their 15th annual spring convocation. It was held last Thursday morning. It was a breakfast meeting. Charlotte is a peer mediator. She is a member of student government. Many students, I don't think she knows this, but refers to her as the peacemaker. When there's something going on with the fifth grade girls, they'll always say, well, Charlotte tried to get us to think that way. She's our peacemaker. She does wonderful work. She wrote some skits to go into the younger grades to work on empathy. We're very, very proud of you, Charlotte. Come on up. I think we're going to hear Charlotte's name quite a lot and connect quite. In fact, this morning she told me she had some good news. You want to share it?
I entered a poetry contest in Newsday about gardening, and I just found out I made it to the finals, and they are going to publish my poem in Newsday, and when they publish it with 3 others, I will find out if I won or not.
Congratulations.
There you go. Congratulations. One, two, again. Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
So I'm going to ask my 2 track and field girls coaches to come on up because we have some celebrating to do for our girls track and field. Come on up, coaches. So you have a very special team, and I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit and brag a little bit about the season and the wonderful girls that are standing here in front of you.
I'm Jim Crowley. I'm the head girls track coach. This is my 36th year here. This is Mike Austin, my assistant coach. This year's team was undefeated League 2 champions. We were also second place in Suffolk County. And the girls up here represent most of our all-league, all-county, and 3 of the girls went to the States, and 7 of the girls are going to the national championships this weekend in North Carolina. Let me start with the 9th graders. We have 3 9th graders at the end. I can't see them all, but Emily Call, Brianna Holguin, and Allie Hardy. Just going in order, I see Nikki Otto, Brianna Padula, Sydney Alvarado, wave Sydney, here we go. Sam Smith, Christina Lineski, Ali Passanante. I'm gonna go with Michaela Kovalovich, and then Maddie Kovalovich. Although they're not all here, at the Nationals, we're going to have Sam Smith. She's gonna throw the hammer. She's ranked 4th in New York State in the hammer. She just came back from the States in the discus, and she has a scholarship to Georgian Court in New Jersey. The Nationals relay team, they're running an 800 medley relay. 2 girls will run the 100, that would be Maddie Kovalovich and Ali Passanante, followed in the 200 by Sydney Alvarado, and the 400 will be Brianna Padula. Not here right now, Kelly Ioka is going to run the steeplechase at the Nationals. She just competed at the States this weekend, came in 7th. And Jenna Phillips is throwing the shot put at the Nationals. At the States this past weekend, she came in 5th place in New York State in the shot put.
Thank you so much, girls. I got a chance to watch your very last, well, you actually qualified that day, but you had one more meet. And you did such a beautiful job. And the most impressive thing was how you cheered each other on. Because really, it's all about pushing each other to be better, and you do that every day, and you did it in such a nice way to each other. It was just really wonderful to see your sportsmanship and how you helped each other succeed. So good luck in the Nationals. We're rooting for you.
So, it is a privilege to speak on behalf of Mr. John Pope. To his students, he might be Mr. Pope, but to the rest of us, he's just Pope. So, both Oakdale Bohemian Middle School and Ronkonkoma Middle School are fortunate to have him as a teacher of technology and MST. He also coaches 7th and 8th grade football over at Ronkonkoma, and just knowing him and how he is with kids, he must be a phenomenal coach. Pope is an old soul with a young mind and a passionate heart for teaching and learning. He is simply a natural in the classroom with a positive presence in both middle schools. He has insight so early in his career to recognize when students need assistance, when they need modeling, or when they just need a guide on the side. He encourages and empowers them to figure things out on their own and persevere through challenges. We had our award ceremony a couple weeks ago, and Pope was presenting his award, and during his speech, he captivated the audience with just this passionate plea for kids to use their hands to make things, to go outside and build things. And the audience, mostly parents and grandparents, just erupted with cheers and applause because what he was saying was real and right and refreshing to hear. So I have many examples demonstrating Pope's enthusiasm for what he does every day for the children of Connecticut. And Ms. Losing is here to share more reasons why this tenure recommendation comes with such conviction.
And I'm here to describe not only what John does in the middle schools, but John is also our high school robotics coach. And he took over in that role 2 years ago. And in his first year, the students won the Long Island Regional and went on to the finals in St. Louis. This year they came in third. And it really doesn't matter as much to John where they come from. It matters that these kids had an opportunity to manufacture a robot, to fabricate it, to code, and to really learn how to do it with adult guidance, but not an adult doing it for them. John really embodies hands-on, minds-on learning. And so, Mrs. Adams, it is our pleasure to present to you Jonathan Pope as a candidate for tenure in the Connecticut schools.
Mr. Delio, would you come up to the mic, please?
Good evening, everyone. Esteemed members of the board and CO, ladies and gentlemen, Denise. I'm here tonight to talk about Dr. Kristen Hamill. She is a school psychologist at Slocum Elementary School. And, I was thinking about her the other day. I was writing a speech, and I said to myself, I often wonder what Dr. Hamill was like when she went to school. I always tell her as we're talking that she probably was a kid, and you've heard this before, that was in the back of the classroom reminding the teacher that she forgot to assign homework that night. And usually during that conversation, she always very quickly but very gently reminds me of how lucky that I am to have her in the building. And that I will agree with. We are here tonight to show our appreciation to Dr. Hamill for her dedication and work as a school psychologist. I know that sounds like a retirement speech, but part of this is showing our appreciation for how hard you work. Since the 11-12 school year, she's established herself as a hardworking, highly intelligent, organized, and trustworthy psychologist who is frequently called upon by not only people in the building for assistance, but also by her colleagues across the district. Over the past 5 years, Dr. Hamill has consistently gone above and beyond her required responsibilities. She's worked closely with students, parents, colleagues, and administrators with whatever that they needed. When other buildings need help with any situation, whether it was testing or counseling or sitting as a chairperson, Dr. Hamill not only was willing to volunteer, but she also ensured that all state regulations and rules were always followed closely, while simultaneously making every person feel welcome and valued at the table, even when they weren't familiar with who she was because she was in another building. Dr. Hamill can also be counted on to hold herself to the highest standards of honesty, integrity, and confidentiality. She will always advocate for kids and families. She always cares about their lives in and outside of school. She cares about their problems and their futures. She cares that each of them lives up to the best of his or her potential, and I've seen that time and time again over the past 5 years. If you ask me in passing, I'll tell you not only how much she cares, but also how hard she works behind the scenes. She sticks by her convictions and works for the good of her students when there is no one around to see it. She will always advocate for her students' best interests, even when it means going up against a seemingly impervious wall. I've seen her fight for her kids when no one, not even the students or her parents, were aware of what she was doing behind the scenes. So in closing, it's obvious that Dr. Hamill loves her work, she loves what she does, and she loves each and every one of her students. And it is an honor tonight to present her as a candidate for tenure.
Okay, I am going to ask, let's see. Representative for Kristen Bantry. Do I have two coming up? Nope, just one. Mr. Frank, please come on up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to introduce Ms. Kristen Fantry, a well-respected member of the business department. Ms. Fantry has, I was fortunate enough, this is my first year at Connecticut, and Ms. Fantry has been, certainly has assisted and helped me along in my way. She's an active member of the school and community. For example, she has spent a considerable amount of time this year developing a new college course for the business department, social media marketing, which I'm proud to say we'll be offering next year. She continues to develop and work hard on the course. Besides her work in the classroom, Kristen's involved in several organizations. She has been a great assistance with the Business Advisory Council, and I thank her for that, and also generating involvement with the Citibank Student Internship Program. She is the 2017 class advisor, which is no small feat, especially when they become seniors, with all the responsibilities that come along with it. This includes organizing fundraisers, events, participating in pep rallies, and all the other things that go along with being a class advisor. Ms. Fantry is diligent, hardworking, innovative, and I am on a regular basis impressed by who she is, the amount of work she gives and provides to her students, to the district. Overall, she is a fantastic person, and I am proud that she is actually part of the business department. So, Ms. Adams, please let me present Ms. Kristen Fantry as a candidate for tenure in Connecticut schools.
Mr. Robert Chiseo, can you please come up to the mic?
Stephanie Pachaki, you available tonight? Can you come down? There you are. I'd like to introduce Stephanie Pachaki. She has a smile that she's worried she's going to get roasted. Stephanie Pachaki is a reflective individual who's always striving to improve in everything she does. She is constantly available for her students and takes great pride in her accomplishments with Connecticut. To call her hardworking would be a gross understatement. She's a positive individual who always takes on the most challenging assignments. For example, this year she taught Algebra 1 as well as the new Common Core Algebra 2 honors class. And for those of you who know about the Common Core Algebra 2 class, that's probably the most challenging assignment that I could give her. Outside the classroom, Stephanie coaches track at OBMS. She's dedicated to the Connect community as an integral part of the community as well as the department. Stephanie is joined tonight by her husband Rob, and I'm sure he is extremely proud of her. Ms. Adams, I present to you Stephanie Pachaki as a candidate for tenure in the Connect schools.
Miss White, last but not least, come on down. Good evening. Miss Cangelleri, she said to me she always gets really red, so she's very shy. Yeah. So she's embarrassed. Miss Emily Cangelleri is the second grade self-contained teacher at John Pearl Elementary School. She's been a wonderful addition to John Pearl, and she's always smiling and very, very happy. She's very dedicated to her profession, and she designs her instructional program to meet the needs of the kids, academic, social, emotional, every day. She and her students always demonstrate kindness. Her class is one of the kindest students in the school, so not only is Ms. Cangelleri a role model for the teachers, but her students are also role models for the other students in the class. So she's just unbelievably kind educator, and I know her journey is going to be wonderful, and she'll be a dedicated teacher. She's also become a friend as well. Parents also appreciate her home and school connection, as well as the family-like atmosphere that she has established in her classroom. For these reasons, Mrs. Adams, please let me present Ms. Emily Cangelleri to you as a candidate for teacher at the Connecticut Public Schools. Connecticut Board of Education, I enthusiastically present Kristen Hamill, Emily Cangelleri, Kristen Fantry, Stephanie Plachaki, and Jonathan Pope for tenure in the Connecticut School District. You need to vote.
So I need a motion and a second to approve the tenures that were presented to us tonight.
Motion, second.
All in favor?
Yes.
I think we're going to officially call this the Passing the Torch meeting, because right now I would like to honor some of our retirees. So I'm going to ask that Ms. Deirdre Kerwin, are you here? Did you get here? She's all decked out.
They were. Yes, they are. You just have to.
So all my newly tenured teachers, these are people that you want to emulate because they have given their life's work to the betterment of our students and to the betterment of our staff and faculty as well. Just by being here every day and doing the things that they love to do. And I have a proclamation for each of them, and each one is very different, so give a listen. Whereas Deirdre Kerwin is being celebrated for her retirement from the teaching profession on June 30th, 2016. And whereas Deirdre Kerwin has faithfully served the Connecticut Central School District in her role as health and physical education teacher for 33 years. And whereas Deirdre Kerwin has taught the practices and principles of physical education to thousands of middle school and high school students. And whereas Deirdre Kerwin has enriched the lives of thousands of middle school and high school students by providing them with the joys and benefits of leading a healthy physical life while teaching good sportsmanship and lifelong lessons in physical and health education. And whereas Deirdre Kerwin has served tirelessly in the total school program, coaching athletic teams at both the middle school and the high school levels, serving as the middle school athletic coordinator, and made major contributions as an advisor to numerous clubs, activities, and school-wide events. Therefore, on this 14th day of June in the year 2016, the Superintendent of Schools and the Board of Education of the Connecticut Central School District of Islip commends Deirdre Kerwin on her outstanding service to the Connecticut community and wishes her a full and rewarding retirement. Ms. Rieger could make it tonight.
I can accept it for her.
You're going to accept it for her?
I would love to.
Are you going to read it for her, or am I going to read it?
I can read it.
You're going to read it? Okay.
Absolutely.
I found the typo. I know.
Good evening, everyone. Again, we are here tonight to celebrate the retirement of Mrs. Ro Rieger. She's a kindergarten teacher at Slocum Elementary School and absolutely one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. If you know me very well, I do not like to use the word amazing. However, she is the one person in my life that I will definitely say is an amazing person, and she's taught me a lot about people and goodness and kindness. So, with that being said, whereas Rosemary Rieger is being celebrated for her retirement from the teaching profession on June 30th, 2016, and whereas Rosemary Rieger's importance to education and the Slocum community cannot be expressed merely with words, and whereas Rosemary Rieger is an irreplaceable kindergarten teacher who flawlessly maintained the elusive balance between sweet and nurturing while instilling lifelong strong work habits in her students. And whereas Rosemary Rieger is and always will be a magnanimous and selfless person whose goodness will resonate in the hearts and lives of her students and her families as well as her peers. And whereas Rosemary Rieger is a legend. Therefore, on this 14th day of June in the year 2016, we commend Rosemary Rieger for her outstanding service to the Connecticut community and Slocum, and we wish her a full and rewarding retirement. Thank you, everyone.
Mr. Charles Trupia, will you please come down? We've met quite a lot at board meetings lately. I'm not sure I'm going to let you retire either. Take that back. Rescind his retirement. Whereas Charles Trupia is being celebrated upon his retirement from the teaching profession on June 30th, 2016. And whereas Charles Trupia's contribution to Connecticut High School and the Connecticut Central School District were founded in the spirit of collaboration and mentorship among his students, colleagues, administration, and the Connecticut community. And whereas Charles Trupia is an exceptional social studies teacher who inspired students to become active participants in our democratic system through his accessible explanations of complex political processes. And whereas Charles Trupia is an inspiration and example to his colleagues and his students alike. And whereas Charles Trupia is a legend. Therefore, on this 14th day of June in the year 2016, the Superintendent of Schools and the Board of Education of the Connecticut Central School District of Islip commend Charles Trupia for his outstanding service to the Connecticut community and wishes him a full and rewarding retirement. I'm not sure if Jean Williams is here. Did she make it? Okay, I'm going to read it anyway. Whereas Jean Williams is being celebrated for her retirement from the teaching profession on June 30th, 2016, and whereas Jean Williams' importance to education and the Connecticut community cannot be expressed merely with words, and whereas Jean Williams is an irreplaceable art teacher who maintained the balance between kind and nurturing while instilling lifelong work habits in her students, and whereas Jean Williams is a graduate of Connecticut High School, class of, I don't know if I should say that, 1978, and began teaching at Connecticut High School in 1987. And whereas Jean Williams has selflessly dedicated nearly 30 years as an educator at Connecticut High School. Therefore, on this 14th day of June in the year 2016, the Superintendent of Schools and the Board of Education of the Connecticut Central School District of Islip commends Jean Williams for her outstanding service to the Connecticut community and wishes her a full and rewarding retirement. All right, we have one last retiree, Deborah Galante. Whereas Deborah Galante is being celebrated for her retirement from the teaching profession on June 30th, 2016, and whereas Deborah Galante's importance to the Connecticut community is immeasurable with the number of students and teachers' lives she has touched, molded, and influenced, and whereas Deborah Galante is irreplaceable as our district mentor and teacher center coordinator, she gives of herself tirelessly for the betterment of all teachers. She is nurturing, caring, supportive, and most importantly, a friend to all. This lifelong learner has dedicated herself to Connecticut for over 22 years. And whereas Deborah Galante is and always will be a selfless person whose sole purpose is to better the lives of those she mentors, and whereas Deborah Galante is a one-of-a-kind, quiet hero within the halls of the Connecticut schools who will truly be missed. Now, therefore, on this 14th day of June in the year 2016, the Superintendent of Schools and the Board of Education of the Connecticut Central School District of Islip commends Deborah Galante for her outstanding service to the Connecticut community and wishes her a full and rewarding retirement. And now I'd like to ask the Board of Education if they would suspend the meeting so that we can actually go celebrate our tenure appointments and our retirees.
I would like to ask Mr. Felicio if he'd like to come up and take a picture with his retired teachers.
So, it's okay, we're going to go to suspend the meeting?
I know.
They can't hear me? It's true. I'm going to ask everyone in the audience if you would just take a seat very quickly because I have one more proclamation that I need to read, and then I promise I'll let you leave.
Hey, Claudette.
Hey, Mr. Costa, you probably want to...
To honor one of the retirees that was able to make it, if we can take our seats, please.
I don't think they can quite hear you. That's not loud.
You know why? Because it's from here and not from the mic system.
It's not loud.
Next year, we'll make it louder.
What about putting the speaker on the stage?
I think I'm kind of hooked. I'm all hooked together.
So I'm going to call Miss Deborah Galante up to the stage, please. Come on up. So thank you for sneaking out of your retirement party and coming and joining us. So this is a proclamation celebrating the retirement of Deborah Galante. Whereas Deborah Galante is being celebrated for her retirement from the teaching profession on June 30th, 2016. And whereas Deborah Galante's importance to the Connecticut community is immeasurable with the number of student and teacher lives she has touched, molded, and influenced. And whereas Deborah Galante is irreplaceable as our district mentor and teacher center coordinator. She gives of herself tirelessly for the betterment of all teachers. She is nurturing, caring, supportive, and most importantly, a friend to all. This lifelong learner has dedicated herself to Connecticut for over 22 years. And whereas Deborah Galante is and always will be a selfless person whose sole purpose is to better the lives of those she mentors. And whereas Deborah Galante is one of a kind, a quiet hero within the halls of the Connecticut schools, who will truly be missed. Now, therefore, on this 14th day of June in the year 2016, the Superintendent of Schools and the Board of Education of the Connecticut Central School District of Islip commends Deborah Galante for her outstanding service to the Connecticut community and wishes her a full and rewarding retirement.
Thank you.